Hello everyone and welcome back to another edition of the Tea Brief. It's been a little bit of a while since the last round I did compared to when the Tea Brief's actually coming out. I apologise for that. If you follow me on Facebook, which I highly recommend that you do, you'd know that I basically said it's because my creative spark has gone recently, or certainly over the last couple of weeks. I've been busy at work, been busy with all sort of things, and the last thing I really want to do when I come home is sit down here and film a video and edit it to make sure it goes out okay. I know I'm just talking at a camera and drinking a cup of tea that, let's face it, is already mostly drunk, but it does take a little bit out of you. It really does. So that's why it's taken a while to come out. But let's not get bogged down by why I didn't get the video out now, why I'm not doing that sort of thing. What we're going to get bogged down by is Whilton Mill, the SP60, and the return of the Three Swans, all three of us racing together again for what is only the second time this year. We'll come on to that in a bit. What I want to talk about is the SP60. Now, you might be wondering, or you might know eagle-eyed viewers amongst you might have noticed that I've got some trophies on display here. You'll notice that there are 4 of them, and they all look a bit different, apart from these 2, of course. Why have I got 4 trophies out? I hear you clamour to ask. Basically, these represent all the trophies. These are all the trophies I've won at Whilton Mill. This is impressive. I've obviously won trophies at Whilton Mill, which is very, very good. However, the thing that's always bugged me, and one that has really got on my wick, certainly over the last nearly 2 years, is this. Second place, second place, second place, second place. This one, I got, that's my first SP60 trophy. I got this in December 2020. This should have been a winner's trophy, but I hit a stationary cart in race 1 and Richard Newton won it. This one is the worst trophy I've ever won because it should have, again, been a first place, but I lost it because I got too many penalties and was then beaten on fastest lap after countback because in race 1 I came 9th, Richard Newton came 10th. In race 2 I came 10th, Richard Newton came 9th. That in the same race where I'd basically taken him out, so that was also very interesting. And yeah, I lost it off fastest lap. Fuming. This one, I'm not so mad about this one because Dickie Allen was there and second place was the best I could have hoped for, but even then it was a hard fought second place. Our first race went crap, second race went a lot better. That was quite a well won trophy. And this one came at the start of the year. This was the one between myself and Alex, the Titanic battle that went out on the channel a couple of weeks ago. Again, it's not too sad coming second, but I could have come first. So it's still, each one of these trophies in their own way, shape or form represents pain. And going into Whilton, not last weekend, the weekend before now, I was out of blood. I wanted to win. And I was a bit sort of like, I couldn't really, I was trying to have a laugh with Alex saying like, and he was saying like, oh, moral victory. It's obviously it's a battle between yourself, me and yourself, because I'm on the SHW weight, etc. And I was like, yeah. I just want to get a winner's trophy today, and that was the aim. And I was playing through all manner of things in my head. What could possibly go wrong? So the day started. Qualifying was interesting because the tyres were cold and the track was a bit damp in places, and there were new boots as well, so I didn't have much grip worn into them. And my qualifying was shocking, to be honest. I thought I'd have it nailed, and then I'd brake at the same point, and I'd just go like almost spinning off, get a massive kick of massive lock up, and I'd be off. And the only time I got all the corners nailed happened to come when Carolis had decided to let Anwar through into turn 1 on the last lap, and by the time I'd rocked up to him, he was going to, so I had to dive around him. Was not happy at that, to be perfectly honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. I was not happy. So I qualified 15th. I was still on pole for the SHW by a considerable way, and I was like, okay, not the best qualifying, but at least I'm on pole. Race 1, really, I got a really good start, and then just started to fall back, and then I ended up basically stuck behind Carolis and Tim Williams, and I think there's another guy. What is his name? Jason Kirk. I might be getting the two. I might be getting confused with somebody else. I think it might be his brother or something. I'm not sure. But me and him had a bit of a ding dong. He tried to go down the inside of me. I was on the outside heading into Christmas. I was trying to get past him. He was on the inside. There was a damp patch on the inside. He went, and then he braked there and spun off. It's quite funny to watch on the GoPro. But yeah, so that was race one. That was ultimately race one. I had a nice solid drive, and myself, Carolis, and Tim were all. We were having our own little private battle, and just in the distance we could see the likes of Alex, Matt Organ, Carl Walker, and I think his name's Daniel Taylor, the chap in the white helmet and black suit. And we just, with about 10 minutes left, I just looked over. We were coming down out of the crook, and they were just coming out of Boxing Day before Inkman's, and we just thought, I reckon we can catch that, and we did. We got right onto the back of them. I think Carolis got past. Carolis didn't get past Alex, but Alex picked up a 2-place penalty, so it all filtered out, and it basically started race number 2 with myself in 10th and Alex in 9th. So with the whole thing about moral victory and how I wasn't really paying much attention to it at the start of the day, all of a sudden it was like, might have a chance here, you know. And I was giving his, Alex, I might get you. And he was like, fuck off, are you getting me? Not a chance. He was up for it. He was well up for it. And to be fair to Alex, he put in a banging performance in the second race. Some of the moves he did into Christmas were nice. I have to doff my proverbial cap to him on that. That was some good overtaking, some good revenge. It can be said. But yeah, I was 10th in race 1. I can't remember where the second super heavyweight was, but they were quite far back, so the chance of victory was starting to look good, but I was still conscious of what could happen. And then race 2 was weird because I felt good on the pace. I felt like I was driving well. I just think everyone else was faster. People just drove away from me, and people said to me after race, it was like, well, what happened to you? Where'd you go? I was like, you know what? I was just living my life. I was just driving my drive, and I ended up having a fantastic battle, it has to be said, with Tim Williams. And I think me and Tim aren't actually going hammer and tongs for actual championship position. I think I'm still 10th, he's 9th, and there's not much between us. So it was actually an actual championship battle, and we had this great fight all through the race. I'd try and get him into Ashby, but I'd always just overcook it on the brakes, and I couldn't get back on the power on exit, and he'd come back past me. But I think it was the penultimate lap, and basically the move that I wanted to pull off was to go around the outside of Christmas, because that's the move that ultimately helped Alex to finish 5th in the first race at the previous Whilton, and I came 6th, and that put him in the position to ultimately go on and win the SHW last time around. So I was really hoping that at some point I could pull off that move, and it's something me and Alex had discussed on through private messaging, etc. Is like how to get that done. And then as we were on the penultimate lap, I was getting close to Tim. I could see, right, this is surely got to be on. And he went to the defence, I went to the outside. I thought, can it happen? And we had 2 back markers in front of us, and they were having their own battle. And Tim couldn't brake exactly where he wanted to, and it wasn't going to be exactly how it would have played out. Where if I'd gone to the outside, he'd been able to cut me off, and I'd have had to settle back. There were people in front of us. I think the guy was trying to overtake one back marker was trying to overtake another back marker, and in the end, I got myself to the outside, got all the way to the extreme. Tim was on the right, and I just got down the inside into Boxing Day and had the line through Inkman's, and then I just defended every corner basically for the remainder of the race. And I came home to finish in 12th, so I went a bit backwards compared to race 1, but no matter, got the move done. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. And finally, at the 5th time of asking, ladies and gentlemen, winner trophy number 1 at Whilton Mill. Bosh. Happy days, ladies and gentlemen. Happy days. Really happy to finally have broken that curse and get that. So yeah, there's my 5 Whilton Mill trophies. The second place I've gone into, and now the first. Gone into extensive detail on that one there. Hope you enjoyed that. So yeah, could not be happier. So on that note, let's now go to the endurance. As I mentioned, only the second time the Three Swans have raced together properly. Myself, Tom and Jasper, first time since Buckmore at the start of the year, where we won. And obviously it's Whilton Mill, a track we all know, a track that, had I not dicked about with the radios and GoPro at the start of the race, we could have probably had a podium there as well. So I was optimistic going into the race, and qualifying went well. Jasper went out and qualified for us. I think he qualified as 18th, maybe 19th in the end, which was okay. And Jasper said that he was driving it like a pro kart again, so didn't really have the best feel for it. And went into the race. Jasper did the start, and he'd got a decent getaway. And then as he came through Christmas, he was on the outside. He was on obviously 18 anti-pole, and I knew that he'd have the inside line for Christmas, but he'd then be exposed when it came to coming through Boxing Day, going through Inkman's. And I thought, I really hope he doesn't get forced onto the grass. And he got forced onto the grass, and it was quite funny. The Titan were in hysterics because not only did he get forced onto the grass, he didn't lift across the grass, across the bobble, and he went over the where the Zulu track comes in. He went smack down there, and Tyson were besides themselves. I was like, oh, okay, didn't take the foot off the brake, take your foot off the throttle even, but he got away with it and carried on. But he was right in the thick of things, so I thought, right, this is going to be bold strategy. We're going to bring him in straight away, and like it was like third lap or like the second lap, the pit lane had been open. He was coming down towards the boot, and I just said, box, get in. I'm gonna get you out of this. I'm gonna get you out of this. And he came in. Bit of a slow pit stop. We lost a position to accounted for racing, and but it was still all good. It was like, right, now we're going to push. I was watching the guys that he'd been in a battle with, and they were still fighters. I thought, if you get some good pace under your belt, we're going to be laughing by the end of this. Unfortunately, whilst I can't prove anything, it's good to be able to blame someone. I'm going to blame Jasper for it because I'm joking, but basically the fuel line came off, ladies and gentlemen, as he just on his next lap out of the pits. I thought I'd noticed him having problems through the final corner, but didn't make too much of it. And when I looked down to look at my phone and see what was going on, looked up, and he'd stopped on the grass by Christmas. And the fuel line had come off. The car broke down. Real gutted, really. It was real like, oh, fuck's sake. Got put back in. We lost about, I think the lap time in the end was 2 minutes 10. So obviously it's a 54-second lap round Whilton. You can work out how much time we lost. We were stone dead last. But to be honest, from there on, we didn't really care because we worked out, it's like, you know what, it's the three of us together, bunch of boys, we're staying at Jasper's new house tonight anyway, we're going to go out on the lash and have a lovely time. Okay, we're not going to get a podium, but let's go and have some fun. Like, let's go and chase down the guys that are directly in front of us. Let's try and get a good result out of this. And we were just having a laugh, really. And Jasper's pace just like he found the rhythm and got straight on it. 54 threes, 54 twos, etc. Really genuinely on it. And by the time he came into the pits, I think we'd climbed from like 35th to maybe 30th or like the low or like the high 20s. So it's like, okay, doing well. I went out and my pace felt so much better than it did in the SP60. I felt so much more in control. We were going past people, we were overtaking people. It was like, right, we're in here. And towards the end of my stint, we were hounding down JK Rolling, who I'd been having a battle with, the driver who was out there in practice. Me and him had been having a bit of a ding dong. I thought, right. And it just, like, through my final stint, which was a bit shorter, Jasper was just telling me the gap. It went down from 6 seconds at the start to, like, it was less than 2 seconds by the time I came into the pit. So it's like, right, surely we're going to have them. And then Tom went out and it was looking all good. We were looking at a top 20 and we were like, if we finish top 20 after a fuel line came off, that is a banging result. We were all looking forward to it. And then it came off again. And it was just like, okay, the bubble has been burst now, and it's a real shame because it would have been, if the fuel line hadn't come off in the first place, I think we would have been challenging for a podium. If it hadn't come off in the second place, we'd have been top 20, we'd have been laughing. It was just one of those days where in motorsport anything can happen, and this time it did, and there's nothing you can do about that. There's nothing you can do about that, ladies and gentlemen, but we went home with a smile on our face and we had a good time. And also my mate, Matt, came to watch as well, guy I'd known at uni, hadn't seen him for a good number of years because of the pandemic, saw him in May before GYG, came down to watch there, me and him had a good catch up as well. Got to drive through Rugby too, lovely place. But yeah, there we go, ladies and gentlemen, that's the story of Whilton Mill. So obviously next time out I will be at Buckmore Park for the first time since July 2020, or Clay Pigeon 2020, whenever that was, I'll be missing a Club 100 Mains Championship, Senior Championship event. That will, because Elo ultimately, it's too far away, basically. I don't want to stay in a hotel the night before, because I did that last year and it was fucking dreadful. So not doing the SP60. Would have done the endurance with Jasper and Tom, but Jasper's on holiday this week and was landing on the morning of the 29th, and it would have been too close, and then Tom didn't want to do it. So yeah, we're not going to be there. I'm not going to be there. First time in a long time. So can't get redemption for the GoPro problems last year, and can't get an SP60 win. So obviously, for those of you at the SHW and the SP60 watching it, that's opportunity to go and win it, to get to fight for the win amongst yourselves. I wish everyone the best of luck in that one. So yeah, we're going to Buckmore. Realistically, I'm not going to shy away from it. The championship in the SP60 is very close to being won. Obviously, need to wait and see what Jamie Garside does at Ella. I could win it before I even turn a wheel, without turning a wheel. But we'll see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you are still watching this video and you haven't subscribed to the channel for whatever reason, please be sure to do so. And all that is left for me to say now is ta-ta and farewell. That's really cold. That's grim. Ugh.